All right, so let's dive right back into the story. After a brutal, life-or-death battle in a mine filled with monsters, our group of kindred finally called for evac, and then everything went black. We're picking up the second they wake up, and let me tell you, things are not what they seem. I mean, can you imagine? That's the one thought just screaming inside each other's heads. They are weak, they're confused, and they are dangerously, dangerously hungry, which for any vampire is a state that pushes you right to the edge. They remember being in some dusty old office, but that is not where they woke up, not even close. So this is where our story really begins, their awakening. They've been rescued, sure, but they haven't been taken to their own safe havens. No, they're somewhere else, somewhere that just feels deeply and unsettlingly wrong. Just picture it. Each one of them is completely alone in a room that feels less like a bedroom and more like an operating theater. You've got a stainless steel bed, a paper-thin mattress, and this constant, horrible hum of fluorescent lights. There are no windows, just one single solid door. They are totally isolated, completely confused, and you can just feel it. The beast inside them is starting to stir. Now, you have to understand, for any vampire, this level of hunger is a ticking time bomb. It can trigger what's called a frenzy, and that's the moment when that carefully built personality just shatters, and the primal monster inside takes absolute total control. It's a complete loss of self, and for one of our characters, well, it's already happening. And how they each react to this hunger, oh, it tells you everything you need to know about them. Eric is already gone. He wakes up covered in the blood that was left for him. Frost, the old soldier, just tears into his supply like a wild animal. Gabriel, ever the pragmatist, immediately hides a few bags for a rainy day. And then you have Alex, who drinks just enough to be polite, because her suspicion of their hosts is even stronger than her hunger. So once they've finally dealt with their immediate thirst, they're all cleaned up and led into a meeting room. It's time for the official debrief. It's time to explain what in the world they survived down in that mine. And let me tell you, this was no simple rescue. They start laying it all out. 2 grotesque lab-made horrors called Farmaray, a venomous snake, and, this is the important part, 3 rival vampires. Frost, with that detective's eye of his, flags one as a likely Toreador and another as a follower of the Ministry. But it's one tiny detail about their enemies that's about to blow this whole situation wide open. Because this debrief isn't just about recapping a mission that went sideways. A single bizarre comment is about to uncover a threat that is far older and way more dangerous than anyone in that room could have possibly imagined. This is the moment. While they're recounting the fight, one of them mentions a taunt the enemy threw at them. 2 jaguars and a dog. Now, to our crew, it's just meaningless trash talk, right? But to their hosts, especially this one attendant named Jonathan, that one word, Jaguar, it sets off alarms you can see on his face. Jonathan practically runs out of the room and comes back with this book that looks like it's 1,000 years old. And as he and the city's Tremere leader, a guy named Gregory Reuters, start flipping through it, the entire mood in the room shifts. This isn't a debrief anymore. It's the scene of a dawning horror. They've stumbled onto a terrible, terrible truth. A heretical, supposedly extinct bloodline of the followers of Set is back. And these guys, they are not your typical vampires hiding in the shadows. Oh no. The Jaguars are infamous for public, bloody, sacrificial rituals. They're almost impossible to tell apart from other Ministry vampires, but they have this unique and powerful sorcery that lets them literally possess another person's body. And all of a sudden, that recent incident where the city's sheriff was mind-controlled, well, it's all starting to make a terrifying amount of sense. Just as this huge, citywide threat gets dropped on the table, the focus snaps from the big political picture right down to the personal. The characters' sires, their vampiric creators, show up and they drag all this old hatred and complicated family drama right into the middle of everything. And right away, we get this fantastic clash of ideals. Frost, he's the old-school traditionalist, and he is furious that they saw Anarchs breaking Camarilla law. But Alex, she pushes back. She argues, hey, we were in their territory. It's arrogant to think we can just impose our laws on them. It's just a perfect snapshot of the political tensions that are constantly simmering just below the surface. And bam, right in the middle of this argument, their sires arrive. Rebecca, who is Eric's sire, bursts in, totally frantic with worry. And then Maria,
Frost's sire walks in with this icy, all-business attitude. The whole dynamic in the room just flips on a dime, grounding this huge political drama in some very real, very complicated family history.
Later on, Frost explains his hostility to Eric in private. And what a bombshell! He reveals that their hosts, the Tremere, placed a devastating 1,000-year blood curse on his entire clan, the Banu Hakim, and then stole their unique blood sorcery. We're talking about an ancient, bitter hatred here, which makes their current position as guests in a Tremere chantry incredibly dangerous. So the debrief finally starts to wind down. The city's new big bad is on the board, personal tensions are boiling over, and just when it seems like they might finally get a moment to breathe, a whole new challenge is dropped right into their laps. But first, the good news. The seneschal, the official they were sent to rescue in the first place, is safe and he's recovering. So by all accounts, their mission, despite the chaos, despite the horrifying discoveries, it was a success. They proved their worth. But in the world of the kindred, success rarely ever means safety. Their reward, or maybe it's their next test, is a personal invitation from the sheriff herself. They are now officially on the guest list for the city's biggest social event of the year, the annual Kindred Halloween Party, which is being held at the historic 16th Street Baptist Church. This is a gathering of the city's most powerful and most dangerous figures. So think about it, they've just uncovered an ancient conspiracy, and now they're being thrown into a party packed with their enemies, including the very Tremere who cursed Frost's entire bloodline. And maybe, just maybe, the returned Jaguars hiding in plain sight. They managed to survive the monsters in the mine, but the real question now is, will they survive the polite society of the damned?